Vocational learning to me is learning while you're actually doing the job.
Hands-on, on-the-job training.
I was getting first-hand experience of the job that I was training to do. Plus I was going to college, so I was getting the qualification that I needed and I was getting a wage as well.
Earning money whilst gaining experience and learning.
I'm also learning on the job as well.
If you don't keep learning and increasing your knowledge, you're gonna stand still in an environment where you can't stand still.
I wanted to become a fully qualified hairstylist.
I was always interested in how things work.
I wanted to go into engineering.
I've seen an apprenticeship as an ideal opportunity for me to get on.
After my GCSEs, I went back to sixth form for a year and didn't like it, so I went and did a summer course in engineering. Ended up getting an apprenticeship for 4 years and now I'm an automation technician.
I left school at the age of 16. The careers advisor pointed me in the direction of an MVQ route. At the moment, I'm studying a part-time degree, which I've completed 12 months of, as well as still working full-time and earning a wage.
I stayed on at school and did A-levels and then went to university to study engineering, but I actually left because I didn't enjoy the engineering course. I wanted more practical, hands-on, which is why I chose vocational learning.
I needed first-hand experience on the job I was training to do, whereas at college, just going full-time college, you don't really get the experience of the job that you want to do.
I actually did an apprenticeship, got my ONC and HNC, went back to uni and got my degree, and also doing maintenance on the machine and learning the job while I was going.
I'm a mechanical engineer at the moment and I just want to go into a supervisor role. And again, doing the degree course can only help me to do that.
A couple of my friends from school, they went the traditional route, A-levels, university, and I think they assumed the same as I did, that through taking an MVQ that they thought it would kind of finish somewhere at an MVQ level 3, level 4. And I think they was also surprised when I turned around and said, well, I've done an access course and I'm starting a part-time degree next year, and they was a bit, oh, well, how have you managed that? Also shocked, didn't realise that you could jump onto a higher level qualification without going to sixth form to do your A-levels.
My family were really supportive because, like, with the advice I got from the careers advisors, like, they told me it was the best route to take for the job that I wanted to be qualified in.
My mum and dad were really happy for me because my mum loves doing all DIY, and so I sort of got that from her as well, and my dad's does all the mechanics and stuff like that, so they were really for it.
Yeah, I always plan to progress. From my family, they've always encouraged me to do well and be successful, especially educational-wise.
My mum, more than anybody, would have loved to have seen me go off to university because she knew that, you know, I was able to do that. And when I kind of said I'm going doing an MVQ, it was, she'd back me, but I think she was a bit disappointed, thinking, oh, I wanted to see her in a cap and gown. Again, not realising that I could accomplish it through this route. I mean, she was behind me 100%, but when I actually did say I've completed the level 3 qualification, I'm able to go on to do a part-time degree. She's over the moon, absolutely over the moon. She can get to see me in a cap and gown at last, so.
No one in the family before had a degree, and it was, you know, perfect chance for them to show off the child who's got a degree at the end of the day.
I think it's extremely important as an employer that employees do move towards the HE route, you know, because employers are looking for definitely more highly skilled people now.
We're looking long-term, 10 to 15-year plan to take people from schools and colleges and develop them over 10 to 15 years to become the project managers of the future.
When an employer sees somebody who's come through the vocational route, I think it shows a very high level of commitment.
Vocational learners in the workplace in the construction industry in my experience, bring a youthful exuberance, and basically they give us the product to work with, which if they are really interested in their position and their job, you can really mould them into something a little bit special.
You can see that there's an incentive there for you at the end, and obviously there's that drive to be successful at the end of the day. And you see what sort of career path other people have taken following this route, and it just seems to drive you on and spur you on to make that goal.
I think it's all about lifelong learning, and people need to recognise that to stay competitive they need to get as many qualifications as they possibly can and balance the qualifications with the work experience that they're getting.
The more educational skills and vocational skills that you attain in such as colleges and building schools, etc., I mean, that can stay with you for life. And likewise, the employers are getting the benefits of a more rounded individual.
I've been able to work, earn a wage, gain experience and also gain life experience.
Some of the barriers that vocational learners face when progressing onto HE is a lack of information.
I wasn't given any information on apprenticeship. I didn't even know they existed. I didn't know what they was or anything.
An individual studying, through the vocational route into the higher education route, it's a very difficult path at times, to balancing the work.
Shift work's a big barrier, earlys, lates and nights, and obviously fitting in your studies alongside that can become really difficult.
I did drop out in the first year because I was working 12-hour shifts, and then I had to go and do a degree course and I found it hard.
I had 2 children at the time that I was at university, and it was just trying to juggle the work-life balance as well as staying at work full-time and studying.
I think as an employer I'd always positively encourage learners to progress through to the HE route. As you say, they may not have been aware of it in the past now, but I think that's I think it's empowering for the person.
Apprentices have a very important role to play because the apprentices are the future, and generally we've got an ageing workforce, so we need to refresh that workforce. But apprentices also need to know that probably the career that they set the path on to kick off with in 5, 10, 15 years with the speed and the change of technology, that they're likely also to continue to get more skills. It's really all about career opportunities for the future.
It's opened up a lot of avenues that I want to be able to do otherwise, because within the job that I'm in now, I've been able to travel all over the place as a mechanical engineer, looking at new bits of equipment that we're going to purchase for the company.
It's in our interests to develop vocational training plans and basically have training schemes with apprentices that are coming through and young site managers, so that they are the future. In the next 10 to 15 years they will be running these big projects that we're standing here looking at today.
The qualifications that I've done initially helped me to actually carry on as a technician here, and then the further qualifications that I did enabled me to be promoted to be an engineer, looking after a small department and actually doing the work that I want to do.
Now that I've been to university, I think I've been able to know what I want and know what route I'm going to go down. Also, with the skills that I've learned, I'm also more focused and determined to achieve my goals.
It's quite a challenge going from a level 3 qualification to part-time degree, but it's definitely manageable.
I'm looking into doing the salon management course, which I can do part-time, so I'm still able to work. So in the future I will be able to open up my own business.
To find out more information about high-level qualifications, a great place to start is Connections.
You can contact your local careers office or Aimhigher.
Your local education provider, to the universities directly.
Speak to people throughout the company, speak to friends, family.
For further information on progression, you could look on the internet, or you could go to Connections or speak to an Aimhigher careers advisor.
the advice and guidance that they will provide you is invaluable.